Why am I excited for Monster Hunter Wilds? This is why. This. Oh, can't forget about this. And then this. Oh, man. I am a newcomer to the series. I just started playing Monster Hunter World at the beginning of this year, and I've been having a great time, folks. It's hard to believe this game came out 7 years ago with how good it looks. And frankly, it reinforces a belief I have that art direction will always reign supreme over graphical fidelity in the world. Well, the proof is in the f***ing pudding, baby. Look at these environments. Look at these colors. And coming straight from this to this, I gotta be real, something fell off. I mean, I love the new monster designs. I love the new weapons and armor. I especially love the secret. People have been trying to do their own bird mount chocobo thing for years, and it never works. But this one is awesome. So why did I feel like something was off? Well, during the beta, I was fighting the flagship monster, Arkveld. And he goes big mode honest with these red glowing chains. There's a lot of explosions. It's very impressive, and it finally struck me. The red from the chains was the only other color on the screen. Freeze frame. There is a damn near no distinction between the hunter, the monster, and the environment. Nothing is standing out. It's all one kind of big, desaturated gray-blue soup. Compare this to a similarly dank environment from Monster Hunter World, the Rotten Vale. Alright, let's start with this room. This dragon here sleeps on this bed of rotting monsters, which are colored in this rich, varied sepulchral red. We have this ominous backlight casting itself on the dark black browns of the cave walls. We have this glowing blue pool of what is clearly Mako energy.
You do realize what Mako is, don't you?
There's a noxious yellow ochre gas lingering in certain passageways, and when you reach the surface here, you see the light break through this canopy of pale bone and brown yellow stone. What could have easily been a boring brown mass of a zone actually turned out to be something really interesting and visually distinct. Now, it should be noted that Monster Hunter Wilds does have a mechanic where the environment changes, almost like a different season or weather system. The Blue Soup Storm is one example, but here's another. And while I'd say there is certainly more contrast, I think we still have the same problem. We just traded out blue for yellow. Now let's compare these dunes, these plains, these rocky outcroppings with a more one-to-one analog from Monster Hunter World. It is called the Wildspire Wastes. Even simply put, the sky and the ground have a distinction between one another, and they've done the thing. They've added some tasteful red to the rocks so that the zone is slightly less boring than it otherwise would be. Let me be real, folks. I hate desert zones. I hate snow zones. I hate lava zones. They are all so one note and ultra boring. But even that said, the Wildspire Wastes really isn't that bad. Overall, it's a pretty nice place to be. Also, I wanted to point something out with these shadows here. Many people envision shadows as black, but they can in fact be blue. I'm gonna throw up some examples on screen so you see what I'm talking about. And while some artists can push this to a higher level of abstraction, I think you can see here how natural it feels to have these blue hues within a landscape. Compare this with black-gray shadows in Wilds, especially this cavern in particular. I'm gonna do a split screen between this and a canyon from the Wildspire Wastes. Now, I know art is all about preference. It's not really a right or wrong answer here. But personally, if I'm gonna spend 100 hours grinding out monster parts in a zone, I would want one that looks more like the right, where there is more color variance, more interest, more contrast. The canyon on the left, it looks more realistic, but it is just gray. There is a style called tonalism, which is a personal favorite of mine, where things can have a sort of uniform, hazy, dreamlike quality. Very mysterious. I feel like it pulls you in. And to be honest, this would be an incredible direction to go with some environmental design in a video game. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't think that's what they're going for with the art direction on their environments. I honestly think it might be following more in line of early 2000s, 2010s, gritty, quote-unquote serious business realism. I don't mind a more grounded visual direction, but I firmly believe that beauty and creativity should never be sacrificed on the altar of realism. We don't need to turn that saturation all the way down in order to be taken seriously. As far as I understand it, Monster Hunter is an environmental fantasy, and to me, that means color. And I don't think it's even off the table. These are simply my thoughts on my beta experience. There is so much of this game that we have not yet seen. Everything I have said here could be completely solved in a future biome on release. And even if it's not, let's be real, guys, I don't really care. This is too prime. I'm too in. And there's only a few days left before we get to Wild Out in the Wild. So come join your fellow hunters on the stream at Big Lunch 89, and I will see you on the hunt.